Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, March 12th, our regularly scheduled Committee of the Whole meeting. I'm chairing this evening because Alderman Cummings is out of town. Let the record show that we have all the aldermen present, save for Alderman Cummings. We begin tonight with item 2, approve Committee of the Whole minutes from February 26, 2018.
So moved.
Motion by Bruno,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Marks. Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 3 is the presentation by our friend, Mr. Scott Corbin, from the Tri-City Jank Music Scholarship Contest. Scott, welcome. Scott and I were talking earlier this evening. You have visited with our friends in Batavia.
That's true.
Just about a week or so ago.
Absolutely, yes.
And Scott has a pretty cool program that has blossomed into something that's now Tri-City wide.
Exactly.
And so we're delighted to have you with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for having me this evening. It's great to see all of you. My name is Scott Corbin. I'm from St. Charles. I grew up here in the Tri-Cities. I'm the owner of the Jank guitar store in St. Charles, and I'm here to speak with you this evening regarding the Tri-Cities Jank Ambassadorship. It's an ambassadorship for students, and the exciting news, as the Mayor just mentioned, is that this is our 3rd year, and now it's our first official year that it has expanded from being in St. Charles to now the whole of the Tri-Cities. That means a lot to me. Of course, I grew up playing Tri-Cities soccer and doing a lot of things that are Tri-Cities oriented, and so we're very, very proud to make this program and ambassadorship available to all students in the Tri-Cities. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the program and what it's all about to inform you, and thank you again for having me this evening. So the Tri-Cities Jank Ambassadorship and Guitar of St. Charles Jank Award was established by Mayor Rogina in partnership with the Jank Guitar Store in 2015. And it has been our esteemed privilege to recognize a truly outstanding local youth each year who is nominated by teachers, mentors, and peers for their embodiment of the unifying and universal spirit of music and of our community. The Tri-Cities Jank Ambassadorship is not a talent award. It is a recognition of a young person's ability to activate the values of community, love, support, and diversity, and use music or creativity to do so. These outstanding young people have been living examples of artistic diversity and cultural awareness, and used their talents and efforts to foster support and inclusivity for the adults and peers in their lives. From hundreds of applicants, one is chosen for this honor each year. In 2016, we crowned the award winner George Ressinger. In 2017, which is our current ambassador still because it's a year-long program, is Crystal Cotvan. And the 3rd ambassador we will find out June 12th at our ceremony. Each school year, the community is invited to nominate talented young people with the most eclectic taste and ability to appreciate and express different genres in keeping with the Jank tradition. Nominees are judged by a panel with representatives from the Park District, the Mayor's offices in the Tri-Cities, and of course the Jank Guitar Store on their proficiency for performing and or advocating for greater access to diverse music and culture. The recipient is honored in an annual ceremony hosted by the Mayor of St. Charles and the Jank Guitar Store, and we would absolutely love this year, our 3rd year, to have all of you there if you're willing and able to be. It's June 12th, 5:15 p.m. in the park, Lincoln Park in St. Charles, and we'd love to have you there. At the location of the statue of the official guitar of St. Charles. The recipient represents the community on a global scale as the acting Tri-Cities Jank Ambassadorship for 1 school year. So who is eligible for nomination? Age 11 to 18 years old. A student must reside in Batavia, Geneva, or St. Charles. And qualifications are, they reflect musical qualities, which means they're able to conduct effective communication and compose plans and structures for themselves and their peers to follow and or produce timely, meaningful results. The benefits for students. The Tri-Cities Jank Ambassadorship is an important recognition to achieve. It is also an unprecedented opportunity to gain valuable life and professional experience through meeting with elected officials, representing the city in high-profile community events like the St. Charles Patrick's Day Parade, public speaking and media interviews, critical thinking and analysis of music and art, shadowing arts and business leaders. And there are also benefits for the schools. Local educators play a key role in developing and recognizing outstanding young people. Each Tri-Cities Jank Ambassador is a testament to the success of adults, mentors, and programs which shape the lives of the local youth and challenge them to grow and to learn. So the Tri-Cities Jank Ambassadorship allows local educators to recognize students whose leadership, creativity, and consistent contributions to their peer community is exceptional. So that's a bit of a background in the program itself. And again, I just want to close on a note that it means a lot to me personally to be here. We've worked very hard to provide a platform for students, which not only recognizes them for their past achievements and their consistency and dedicated efforts, but moving forward, it gives them a year-long platform as the ambassador for the Tri-Cities. So they get opportunities that help them when they're applying for colleges, when they're going into their professional career. And so all of you really make that possible and happen when we all come together and provide that platform. So thank you so much for your time. If there are any questions by chance, I'm certainly here for that. If not, Mayor Burns has my contact information, and I'd be happy at any time to correspond with anyone here. And again, we'd love to have you at the ceremony June 12th. Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Alderman Bruno.
Thank you for the presentation. It sounds like a very interesting program. Just for clarity, I don't know if I missed something. In the agenda here, it talked about a scholarship. This is an ambassadorship. Is there a scholarship involved?
Thank you so much for asking. So one of the really great highlights of this year, that's accurate actually, because we additionally have something called the Road Song Challenge. It's a song contest we initiated last year with all schools in the Tri-Cities. It's an opportunity for a student who's in the arts to create something for their career before they actually have to head off to college. So when they win the contest, they actually end up out of the Tri-Cities. They win $10,000 as a grand prize. That's the scholarship. They also receive $2,000 donation that goes to their city and $2,000 that goes to their school, so that the student not only benefits from the scholarship opportunity themselves, but in turn they're giving back to their community and their school and their city directly. This first year, we're actually presenting the award for the first time at our annual ceremony for the ambassadorship. So that's how it ties in. The ambassador is for the arts. This is our third annual ceremony. In the first year, it's in the Tri-Cities. And the song contest, we're also having the dedication to the winner at the same ceremony. So it's an exciting year for us on a Tri-Cities scale.
Very good. So how is that funded? Is the guitar store just rolling in dough? Is that where the money comes from, or are there public fund or are there donations sought, or?
Thank you so much for asking. The Jank Guitar Store sponsors everything. We have a great team at the store, and we've all been very dedicated for many years. Since I'm from the Tri-Cities, this was something that when I approached our team, they're from international countries, of course, but also they work in various places in the States. I really wanted to make it based in St. Charles, and when we had our conversation as a team, everybody supported that completely after learning about the Tri-Cities as a community, the values of the community. And so the store is a global store. In fact, we're opening our second location in France coming up here soon. However, the focus on the Tri-Cities is something that all of our efforts have gone into. So I can't take credit for anything personally. It's a big team of people. But yes, the Jank Guitar Store sponsors everything.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? Yeah. It's really, Alderman Ruby.
You mentioned a lot of different criteria that the kids need to be nominated. I assume they're an elite musician or vocalist. I mean, these are the cream of the crop as far as musical talents, correct, to be nominated?
That is a common question, and thank you so much for asking that. Actually, this is something that recognizes not the talent, but actually the effort.
Okay.
So one of the main focus criteria that we look at is consistency, which means dedicated effort over a long period of time.
Okay.
And showing that level of peer involvement, community involvement, leadership, and teamwork. That's really what we want to recognize and reward. So that's why the age range is actually 11 to 18, because it's just as possible for a middle schooler to receive the scholarship, receive the ambassadorship, as it is for maybe a senior in high school. So that's an excellent question for the reason that we receive that question all the time.
Okay.
It's a great question. We actually take a look at musical qualities. So effective communication, leadership, and teamwork and dedication are all necessary in the arts. And so we use that as a way to say, if they've actually been dedicating themselves over many, many years to something they feel really passionate about in the community, we want to reward that. So excellent question, thank you.
So do the teachers, music and band and choir teachers in the schools know about this program? Do they nominate students?
Absolutely,
And then what
yes.
about the student who is homeschooled or just has, self-taught, that type of thing? Is there any way for them to be nominated?
Another great question, absolutely. So anybody can nominate anyone.
Okay.
Fantastic question. So often resources include teachers and staff, administration. They nominate students because they can nominate more than one, and you can also nominate each year. Also, you could be a friend or a family friend, or maybe just a neighbor, and you could say, hey, I really know about this student. I know they work very hard. I'd like to nominate them. And everything is actually through our webpage.
Okay, great.
So you can submit a name, and then of course we reach out to the family, and we ask for academics and extracurriculars and charities and community involvement, etc. Letters of recommendation, everything like that.
Okay.
So anybody can nominate anybody. So if they're homeschooled or if they go to a private school, for example, anybody can. But yes, to answer your question, in addition, the music teachers, English language teachers, foreign language teachers, history teachers, science teachers, these are all tremendous resources because they have that firsthand knowledge of a lot of the students that are working very hard,
Sure.
both in and out of school.
Okay, so the kids who are nominated aren't necessarily going to study music or go into a musical
Correct.
career? Okay.
Absolutely, fantastic
you.
clarification. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Bruno.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry for the second butt in here, but your
my pleasure.
your website, is it something you want to tell the millions of viewers?
I appreciate that. Thank you. No, seriously, thank you very much for reminding me. Absolutely. So anybody can go to thejankguitarstore.com. Jank is spelled Jank. So thejankguitarstore.com/ambassador-nomination. So thejankguitarstore.com/ambassador-nomination. When you see a form there, what you're going to see is a description of the program. So if anything, tonight I didn't cover, you're welcome to read. It's also a simple form where you'd enter your name and the person you're nominating. So maybe a contact email for the parent or somebody at the school, and then they can officially be submitted.
Is there a link to that subpage on the homepage if people don't type the whole thing?
Excellent question. The answer to that is actually no, and the reason is because we get quite a lot of attention internationally on our website for the various services and products we serve globally, guitar lessons online. So we wanted something of this nature when it involves the students, it involves privacy, it involves security, to be rather compartmentalized in that sense. And so we've actually provided it directly to the schools through newsletters and bulletins and things of that nature. Teachers have the link, but we don't necessarily distribute it internationally through our website like that. So that's to answer your question, but an excellent one.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Anyone else from the dais? I would like to nominate Alderman Maladra because he has consistently played the guitar.
There was an age restriction.
Is there? That's,
That,
shucks. Shucks.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. I really do
Thank you, Mr.
appreciate it.
Corbett. Thank
It was
you very
nice
much.
to speak with everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with items of business, I would like just to make a brief announcement amplifying the email I sent out just a short while ago regarding the passing of a distinguished Geneva resident, Mr. George Krippner. Some of you may recognize the name. For those of you who do not, I've got some brief notes here that are captured in the obituary, but I wanted to make a couple comments regarding them. Mr. Krippner passed away just a week ago. He went to St. Ignatius High School in the city, then off to Loyola University, go Ramblers, where he met his wife Sheila. They raised 5 kids here on Peyton Street. And the obituary states very clearly, our home on Peyton Street was the site of many lively gatherings, and I can attest to that. Lively and perhaps, yeah, well, no comment there. He was a timekeeper for swim meets. For those of you who know the Krippner family, they all swam. He was also a basketball coach. In fact, he was my basketball coach back in elementary school. He practiced law for more than 5 decades. He actually had a firm here in town called Casey and Krippner. Some of you may remember that name. It is now where the olive mill is located. Perhaps most important to us is that he served on the Zoning Board of Appeals for 25 years, 1985 to 2010. I had the pleasure of visiting with his wife Sheila and their kids, and I pledged to them that with your blessings, we'd have a moment of silence to honor George and his commitments, and that is why, of course, the City of Geneva flag is flying at half-staff. So to honor George, and certainly to send our warm thoughts to Sheila and the kids, Kathy and Jim and Larry and Dan and Tim, I would invite you all just to have a moment of silence to recognize and remember George. Thank you very much. Moving on, folks, item 4A is to recommend approval of special event application for the Fox Valley Marathon, Sunday, September 16, 2018. Motion by Alderman McGowan. Seconded by Alderman Marks. Any questions or comments? Anyone running? A lot of enthusiasm here tonight, Corbin. We're more into music than we are running marathons, apparently, so. All in favor of 4A, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Item 4B is to recommend approval of draft resolution requesting closure of Illinois Route 31 and Route 38 for the Fox Valley Marathon, September 16, 2018. Alderman Kilberg makes the motion. Second. We'll give it to Alderman Ruby this time. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Item 4C is to recommend approval of special event application for Swedish Days Festival, June 19 through 24, 2018. Motion by Alderman McGowan.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bruno. Any questions or comments? We know Mrs. Gaines is here tonight. Seeing none? Hearing none? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Item 4D is to recommend approval of a special event application for the Geneva Arts Fair, July 28 and 29, 2018. Motion by Alderman Ruby. Seconded by Alderman Marks. Questions or comments regarding the Arts Fair? Has the cover for the invitation been agreed to already? No, not yet. We're so far ahead of everything here. It's awesome. Any questions or comments for Ms. Gaines? Hearing none, seeing none. All in favor of item 4D, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. Item 4E is to recommend draft resolution authorizing the execution of a First Amendment to lease for parking lot at St. Mark's Church located at 320 Franklin Street. Is there a motion? So moved. Motion by Alderman Marks. Seconded by Alderman Ruby. In the interest of transparency, Alderman Marks, is there any relationship to you and St. Mark's? No. Excellent. Care to elaborate why there's no?
I think that's pretty well known.
Questions or comments regarding this matter? All in favor of the motion? Oh, yes, Alderman Kilberg, excuse me.
The expansion of 318, are we looking at, has there been any significant changes?
Microphone?
Can I trouble your, to turn on the mic, Dean? Thank you.
With some of the changes that are on the drawing board as it relates to 318, is there anything about the renewal of the lease that's been impacted at all?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of item 4E, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say nay. Motion passes. Item 4F is to recommend draft resolution authorizing execution of a professional engineering service agreement with WBK Engineering in an amount not to exceed $15,350 plus optional printing reimbursements for the Southeast Sub-Area Plan infrastructure costs, data, and exhibits update. So moved. Motion by Alderman Marks. Seconded by Alderman Burghardt. Any questions or comments? Seeing none? Hearing none? All in favor of item 4F, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay. Item 4F passes. Item 4G is to recommend draft resolution authorizing the execution of a 2-year city facility interior cleaning services contract with Citywide Building Maintenance Incorporated in the amount of $83,283.30 annually. Is there a motion? Alderman Marks makes the motion. Seconded by Alderman Ruby. Questions or comments from the dais? Seeing none? Hearing none? All in favor of item 4G, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Please say nay. Motion passes. Item 4H is to recommend draft resolution authorizing the annual publication of the city zoning map. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by McGowan, seconded by, I believe it was Bruno. Questions or comments? Now, this zoning map will actually be in actual size, correct? This is such a light night. Yeah. St. Mark, anything you want to add to that? Or?
St. Mark is fine.
Any questions or comments?
I
Oh,
don't think
Alderman McGowan, excuse me, then Alderman Marks.
I was wondering, Mr. DeGroot, if you could just kind of highlight what some of the biggest changes are, or what's maybe some of the most, most prominent changes are between the new map and the previous zoning map? Like, how many changes were there? Were they just little changes, or were there some really
It was,
drastic changes?
sure, the only things that have changed on the map were zoning map amendments or amendments to PUDs that were approved by the city council in the year 2017. So it was kind of a short list this year. We had the First Street row homes, we had PUD amendments to Geneva Commons, Del Nor, Fabian Crossings, without the list in front of me, but it was a short handful of items.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was my question, so.
Your question? Okay. Alderman Bruno?
Thank you.
Mr. DeGroot?
Mr. DeGroot, just so I'm reading this map right, it looks like we clarified, or we corrected some mismatch with actual zoning. I think there's some North Sixth Street, there was a lot or two that's ringing a bell.
On North Sixth Street?
I was thinking something was labeled wrong a couple of years ago. Do we do housekeeping along with this?
I don't recall doing that this year, so we have done housekeeping in the past. Maybe we caught it last year or the year before.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mr. DeGroot. On item 4H, ladies and gentlemen, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay. Motion 4H passes. Item 5 is new business or public comment. Anyone wishing to join us or wishing to speak tonight who's joined us from the dais? Anyone? New business? Successful film festival, very exciting. Did anyone partake, enjoy? Great locations at Penrose and Playhouse 38. Awesome. I can hear you breathing. No new business, ladies and gentlemen. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Motion by Marks, seconded by Kilberg. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned, folks.